Hello to everybody. My name is Eeva Viinikka and I'm the Program Director of National Nanotechnology Cluster Program in Finland. I'm going to talk about the best practices of commercializing nanotechnology, basically the NanoCom project results. Project NanoCom is about bridging the gap between the laboratory and industries. It's about identifying the barriers of commercialization, basically, and creating new ways to lower them. It's also about identifying the best practices of commercializing nanotechnology and promoting the identified ones. And there are activities related to open innovation, road mapping, policy advice, and commercialization-oriented forum. To identify the best practices, the project consortium created a questionnaire. And as a first step, the questionnaire respondents, basically the nanotechnology companies in Europe, were asked to identify what kind of success they had seen in nanotechnology in their most successful nanotechnology project. And the list included 9 different success indicators, which range from increasing sales revenue, job creation, reduced production cost, new market entry, and so on. And the companies were asked to identify did they see high, medium, low, or no success in each of these issues. And as a result, we could calculate the average success indicator for each company. And as a next step, we asked the companies to identify which are the most important success factors affecting their businesses. There were altogether 8 different success factor domains and a list of single success factors within each domain, like technology, marketing, manufacturing, organizational, innovation practices within the company, external knowledge and open innovation, and funding policies and societal aspects. And because of the very limited time, I'm not going into the details of analyzing all this material we got, or any statistical methods or even detailed results. I'm jumping into the conclusions, because all the details will be available on NanoCom website, so the best practices report will be there on, I guess, in the beginning of August. So basically, we got responses from more than 250 companies, 40% of which were actually already in commercial phase. And the respondent companies covered the whole value chain very evenly, and they were also covering the whole Europe very evenly. So we had a very nice bunch of statistics, a reliable bunch of statistics. So we carried out several different statistical studies and also carried out 30 supporting interviews. And as a result, we can identify the key success factors for the companies would be the following. It would be firstly the focus in business point of view, which is quite obvious. They require organized in-house innovation activities, utilization of local support, collaborations, focus in establishing the production, taking care of funding issues, and getting prepared to tackle the insecurities. I guess quite many of you have seen the Minam results and so on, and these results don't look the same. But I want to emphasize that quite many times we have been looking at barriers, and barriers and success factors are 2 different things. Barriers are something that you need them urgently, otherwise you are not going to survive, like funding. But success factors are something which bring you competitive advantage once your basic needs have been satisfied. So now here we are focusing on the success factors. So one of the interesting results of the survey was that 60% of more than 250 companies say that they see that nanotechnology has high impact, high, not medium or low, high impact in new product launch, new market entry, and increase in sales revenue. So nanotechnology is obviously of great value for the companies involved. Now looking at the success factors more in detail, the first point would be focus in business point of view. So this result was recognized, or this result as a focus in business point of view, as success factors was recognized as key success factors by the companies. and it was identified by the statistical methods as a source of competitive advantage. And this result was very much emphasized within the interviews, the giving further insight into the results. So basically the success factors or focus in business point of view includes the most important topic which is marketing and strategy. It's of course about customers. The company should start discussion with the customers at a very early phase. It's about prospects. The company should be very careful in studying the market opportunity, scalability, cost and return on investment. And the future, taking care of the future requires focusing IPR issues because nanotechnology is very IPR intensive. And also making sure that the team has enough or sufficient business skills. So at certain phase, there might be a need to change the team. And one interesting result, all of this sound of course quite obvious and self-evident, but one interesting result which came out was that it might be a good idea for a company to consider including services in their business model. So for the policymakers, of course, this requires implications in education or creating or facilitating local business support. About the including the services in the business model, as I explained, we were able to calculate average success indicator for each company. And we also asked the companies to identify in which positions of the value chain they are involved in, would it be materials, intermediates, products, services, or tools and equipment. So we were able to split all these more than 250 companies into groups according to what was the business model. And if we rank the different business models according to their success, if you look at the table, you can see that among the 7 most successful business models, there are 5 which include services. Now, as you can see, the differences between the average success indicators are quite small, and the standard deviations are quite high, and the number of companies could be even larger, higher. So this is a weak signal, but on the other hand, it is a weak signal, so it's to be considered. The next most important success factor is organizing the in-house innovation activities. So this finding was supported by the fact that it has significant correlation with success. It's a source of competitive advantage, and it's also recognized as one of the important success factors by the companies. It's not a surprise for the companies. And the result is supported by the interviews. So it seems that this within in-house innovation activities, R&D project management is of special value, and it's especially important for small and medium-sized companies, and also companies in research and development phase. And it's interesting that this same topic was identified also as a barrier. So it really strongly emphasizes the importance of this topic. So, and from the policymakers' point of view, the implications is again education. The third most important success factor was utilization of local support. And this very much emphasizes the differences of barriers and success factors. I mean, anybody could survive without local support. However, local support provides you competitive advantage once your basic needs have been satisfied. So the local support would be incubators, R&D facilities, technology centers, development agencies, networks and clusters. And these are significantly correlated with your success. From the mediating company point of view, this is a very nice result because it's very difficult to analyze and really show the value of local support, but here we have the result. For the policymaker point of view, it of course requires organizing high quality local support and making sure that all the companies are firstly aware of the services and also pulled in. And what we also did was that we compared the results from the European companies with the non-European companies. And one of the most striking differences between these groups was the attitude towards local business support. The local business support was identified as of great importance importance in Europe, but it was even much further emphasized in US. So if we want to pick any hints and tips or messages from outside Europe, this might be one of them. Success factor number 4 was collaborations. So especially in R&D phase, a success factor would be all external knowledge, open innovation, collaboration, especially with other companies. So the implications would be facilitating contacts, especially to customer industries. Customers play the key role. And supporting pre-commercial phase companies in finding partners and organizing tailored promotion to selected customer industries. Success factors from 5, 6 and 7 would be production, funding and handling of the risks. So the company should be very thorough in establishing the production because efficiency, reliability and reproducibility are the success factors. And the interviews also show that the company should start thinking about establishing the production at very early phase. That's one of the success factors. Everybody knows that the company should take care of funding. Our results say that the more you are involved in nanotechnology, the higher the barrier funding is. But on the other hand, the stronger success factor getting venture capital would be. So, and another difference to US companies was that the US companies seem to pay much more attention to funding issues in early phase. That's probably another hint or tip to be taken care of. And finally, it's about getting prepared in insecurities or cultural issues. A company should know as much as possible about regulations and safety issues to minimize the effect of insecurities in business. So the to-dos consider mostly funding issues. I would like to refer another work carried out in NanoCom. It's about the entrepreneurship patterns, which analyze the attitudes of European venture capitalists towards nanotechnologies. And the results show that there are no nano-specific issues in what's attractive. On the other hand, there are certain risks which the investors associate with nanotechnology, one of which is market acceptance, because the fears are more difficult to manage than the factual safety issues. And the other is that they consider that the time to market could be longer and the size of investment larger, which makes it a bit more tricky. So the big issue is how to support the companies in focusing into the success factors now. So first of all, it's about educating the startups and those academics who are interested in entrepreneurship to succeed in business. So the research and development management skills was of great importance, and the other very important topic is business skill. You need to provide education. Another topic is of course funding issues. Our results say that the national funding instruments are of great value, and it's quite obvious that there is venture capital needed. So venture capital becomes an issue in relatively early phase in TRL level. So the companies might benefit from facilitated networking with venture capitalists, which we are actually going to do in NanoCom project. And a good question is how to overcome the nano-specific, maybe, longer time to market. So is there a real chance for a promising new technology to develop mature enough before the venture capital phase? Or is there perhaps a need for a new funding instrument? Is there enough seed funding? Is it okay now? And of course, the famous and notorious death valley is always the issue. The steps from prototype to commercialization, as well as process development issues of crucial importance, as we all know, but they seem to lack support mechanisms. And finally, it's about organizing the local support into safety net. There are many different approaches, and I would personally, of course, be interested in kind of providing our Finnish views and ways of doing it. As the local support was identified as one of the key success factors, a good question is every now and then how to identify what's really needed. A Finnish company called Hub Concept has just created a new way of analyzing technology hubs and also evaluating and finding out what's really needed. Where are the strongholds of the technology hub and what's needed? So finally, I would like to introduce my own organization Nanotechnology Cluster Program. Nanotechnology Cluster Program's mission is to foster the growth of nanotechnology-based business in Finland. And internationally, we offer Finnish partners to international projects. Our organization can reach more than 90% of Finnish nano and micro-related activities and stakeholders. There are at least 100 companies who are already selling their nanotechnology-based products and 170 research groups, which they are all eager to collaborate with you. So thank you for your attention, please.